As the Israeli military operation against Hamas terrorists in the Gaza Strip continued, peace negotiations in Qatar between envoys of Tel Aviv and representatives of Palestinian militants were coming to an end.
Israel wants
There is progress. Israel is demanding the return of the hostages, and time will tell if the other side will honor the terms of the agreement. We will find out soon. The effect is an agreement whose terms are still unofficial. On the day the parties signed the agreement, 3 Israeli hostages kidnapped over a year ago will be returned to their families. At the same time, Israel will begin to withdraw its troops from the Gaza Strip. After 1 week, 4 more hostages will return home, and the safety of Palestinian civilians who fled the war will be guaranteed.
Donald Trump has called on the sides to reach a deal by the time he takes office on January 20th. Those words seem to be heeded by all of the sides, and they appear eager to reach a deal by that time. In fact, Trump's Mideast envoy, Steve Witkoff, hasn't even started his job officially yet. He's already on the ground and deeply involved in these talks, hoping to push that agreement across the finish line.
The sudden acceleration of negotiations is the result of pressure from Donald Trump. The president-elect has threatened that if Hamas terrorists do not return the kidnapped loved ones of Israeli families, they will regret the day they raised their hand against civilians.
If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is.
Hamas has no intention of testing Donald Trump's patience. The Palestinian militants have agreed to peace terms, and after more than a year, the kidnapped civilians still alive will finally regain their freedom.
Bardzo poważnie potraktowali jego słowa.
They took his words very seriously. A president who is not yet in office sent his envoy, who is also an eminent lawyer, to negotiate peace in the Middle East on behalf of a president who is not yet in office. This is unique in the world, but it is also an indication of how powerful Donald Trump feels right now.
The Senate races.
On October 7th, 2023, Hamas terrorists stormed into Israel from Gaza. They kidnapped, raped, and murdered defenseless people, including participants in a border festival. They unleashed the hell of war that continues in the Middle East to this day. Only now has hope begun to shine through.
I haven't stood at this podium and said anything particularly optimistic about a hostage deal in quite some time, and that's because we haven't been in the position that I think we are in today.
The deal, pushed so hard by U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, brings hope and relief to families who have been calling for a ceasefire and the return of hostages for over a year in vain. Relatives no longer count the weeks or days, but the hours until the ceasefire and the end of this 15-month-long tragedy.